right. The billboards, they keep going out. Same as them office lights.
Agent, we have a serious issue with the electrical grid in Times Square. I'll let Rhodes fill you in on the details. He'll be your point of contact for this one.
Thanks. Here's the deal. The step-down power transformer is on the fritz, and it's causing brownouts as a result. Normally, not a big deal, but Normal left this island a while ago. Let this go long enough, and we get cascade failure across the whole island. And that would be bad.
Tom Clancy, The Division. I've made a video about The Division when I played the open beta, asking whether it sucks or not. The full game doesn't really differ that much from the beta, other than the beta being a smaller portion and constricted version of the full game. Where in the full game they unlock the leveling system and also given access to all the main and side missions, encounters, safe houses, and all the zones in both the PvE map and the Dark Zone map. So, based on what I experienced in the beta in terms of gameplay, nothing has really changed in the full game. I'm telling you this because I might not focus that much on the gameplay aspect, but more on the story aspect. Because my biggest gripe when I played the beta was that the game did not have any narrative in its story. And there was no context to what I'm doing except the fact that I'm a Division agent and I have to do it. But I'm going ahead of myself. Let's talk about what the game is. So, what is Tom Clancy, The Division? This is the same question I asked in my beta video, except I'm gonna try to be less insulting in this one. Tom Clancy The Division is a massive multiplayer online / role-playing hybrid game. Yeah, try to say that 5 times in a row. In short, an MMORPG hybrid set in a post-apocalyptic New York where a virus infection has spread. You thought I was gonna say zombie, didn't ya? Anyways, the virus outbreak has caused mass death and panic in New York. Looters, rioters, and multiple organized groups has taken advantage from this crisis to take a hold of territories in New York, and it's up to the Division to put a stop to it. The Division being the final resort from the US government. The Division are sleeper agents placed in the USA, and they are only activated when every other measure of defense fail. When society fall, we rise. This is not what I hoped for from the Division when I first heard about the game, but it was what I expected. Of course, New York is under a massive outbreak, and the Division agents has to do their jobs by setting a base of operations and safe houses for people to come and take shelter, also ensure safety and order when civilians walk in the streets, make sure that power, water, and whatever infrastructure service that has been compromised in the outbreak is restored and guarded, and also that sick people are being treated and a vaccine is being developed in a secured medical site. In the game, these services are being provided in the form of security, tech, and medical wing missions. Again, this is not what I hoped for, but I did expect this in the game. After watching the intro in this game and seeing the so-called green poison, which is also named as a dollar bill, the modified smallpox virus. There's a lot of names for this virus. Anyways, after seeing the so-called green poison being developed and how it spread, I honestly felt scared because of the plausibility and probability of this happening. I mean, a group of scientists develop a modified smallpox virus and they lace it in every dollar bill. Get why they call it the dollar bill virus. Anyways, and lace it in every dollar bill, and then Thanksgiving happened, and what happens before Thanksgiving? Black Friday. So money is being thrown around and people catches the infection and the outbreak happens. The way that this game sets itself up is so realistic, it's scary. But then to be greeted with an actually fun story, but ultimately an empty one. So, here's how the game starts. Don't worry, I'm not gonna spoil anything for you. You start out in New York City, a fresh new recruit. In New York City, you learn the ropes and you actually get to play the mission which was shown off in the reveal gameplay at E3 2013. It's nothing like how it looked at E3. Anyways, you then are about to move to Manhattan with your commander Fade Lau, and then an explosion happens, and you wake up in a helicopter about to land in Manhattan. The game then asks you to set up your base of operations and activate every wing that I mentioned, the medical, tech, and security wing. Every main slash story mission from then is set for every wing with every objective is what I said before, helping sick people, protecting them, and such. The only narrative that holds the story together is the explosion that happened in the beginning, figuring out what caused it while trying to restore the city. It's realistic, commendable, and the missions are actually fun, like I said, but ultimately expected and disappointing. Before I go on, have a peek at this trailer video and tell me if you don't feel a little disappointment from the realization that when you watch this trailer, you hope for a different story than the one you actually got, or about to get if you haven't played the game yet.
Silent night, holy night, all is
It's hard to watch something you love destroy itself, to see it fall apart. Disaster always feels so distant, detached. Someone else's struggle in some faraway place. It's not until it's in our city, at our doors, that we realize how fragile we are. All of us. All of this.
no, baby, Steven. I'm here. Mommy's right here.
Please. Sarah, I'm sorry, Sarah. I'm just not strong enough.
Where's the drive sign? Please no more.
And the real truth is, people turn away from it. They run from it if they can. And it's hard knowing that you belong here. That your purpose lies amongst all this pain. But someone's gotta be there to pick it up. To push back. Put the first piece back together. Put us all back together.
When I watched this trailer, I hoped that I was getting a personal story. A story that showed where I was before the outbreak, any connections I have or might have, or anything that might be fleshed out for my character. I hoped for something personal, a motive, and some context to my existence. But you get this empty story of tasks to do and checklists to finish, and it becomes so dull. But I'm not gonna discredit it completely, as the missions are actually fun. But they are fun because of the gameplay mechanics and not because of the story. The story lacks connection and actual narrative. At first I thought the game was gonna have a story similar to The Last of Us, as the setting is almost similar, and then after I heard about the so-called open approach to missions, where you can start them by walking into the mission area and all the missions are actually laid out in the map for you to play with no actual requirements. Some are hard because of the high level of the mission, but you can still play them. After hearing about that, I thought that it's gonna be like The Witcher 3 or Metal Gear Solid 5. But turns out it's not. It's like The Witcher 3 after you finished all the main story quests and still have all the contracts and side quests to do. You still have a lot of content, but you get that empty feeling where you lost all purpose and motive to play them, as they will not change anything in the world, nor push a plot forward. The good things about the story are the missions themselves. They are fun to play because of the mechanics. The cover mechanics of The Division are fluid and very smooth, and they are the best third-person cover mechanics that Ubisoft has ever published. The AI is also very good. Enemy NPCs are smart and they will be strategic about attacking you. If you're not smart about how and where you stay in cover, the enemy will flank you and try to force you out of your cover, and depending on your and their level, they can take quite the beating from you, and they can dish out quite the beating themselves. Talking about the NPCs, bosses and villains in the main missions are one of the worst that I have ever seen. They are basically a reskin of the regular bosses that you encounter in side missions. I swear, I fought the same boss that was at the first cleaner mission and was the actual main villain / head of the cleaners. The only difference was the name. Villains in this game are potentially one of the most interesting people in this story. The reason I say potentially is because they aren't. In a setting like this, almost everything evil is justified, and this game justifies every villain so well in its story. But it completely kills them prematurely. Literally, you have to kill them all. Some even die in the most over-the-top Call of Duty-like way. I'll leave you to find that one out. Which is sad, because I really wanted to confront and fight them again, and for them to be a threat again, because they're so well justified for what they're doing. It's really sad to see this game's story end up being just a series of checklists to do for a specific wing in the base of operations. I kinda predicted this. I said it in the beta video that everything flows through the base of operations. But, oh well. There's more to this game than just its story. But the story is a big aspect of this game. Of any game, really. This game is an example of how to build a realistic post-apocalyptic world. Graphically, it is absolutely beautiful and gritty, and it feels great to play in. And talking about the graphics of the game, The Division had a lot of problems when it was released. The service crashed almost immediately, but it didn't take long for it to be fixed by Ubisoft, as they fixed the problem in about 12 hours, which is something that is commendable for a game of this size. Everyone remembers how long Diablo 3 took for it to be fixed. Infamous Error 34. Forever remembered. There's also game crashes that has been happening. One of the main causes is Nvidia released their new drivers to optimize their graphics card for this game, but it caused more problems than it solved, causing the blue screen of death for a lot of people, and even for their computers to be completely unresponsive, to the point that Nvidia has pulled the drivers from their website. If you did update drivers and are experiencing problems, just uninstall the driver and revert back to the last one available. AMD is also not safe, as people seem to be still experiencing sudden crashes. This seems more of the game's problem than a GPU problem. I used to have this problem all the time when I played the beta, and I'm gonna run down all the fixes that I did. First of all, if your graphics card is overclocked, try and revert that overclock. If you haven't overclocked your graphics card in a long time, try and check your overclocking program, as it might have a setting to apply the overclock at startup without the need to start the application. I used to use MSI Afterburner, and when I disabled that setting and reverted the overclock, my game worked fine. If that doesn't work, try and underclock your graphics card, as most graphics card comes in with a stock overclock, which is always stable, but apparently this game can't handle an overclock. Also, lower your graphics setting in the game to the lowest and see if that works. And that's all the technical problems that the game experienced at launch. A lot of people seem to think that this game has been downgraded from where it was, but to be honest, this game looks beautiful. And to me it sounds more of a trade-off and less of a downgrade, as I can notice changes like the addition of wind effects to clothes and hair, unlike in E3 2013. And also the reason this game looks so realistic in E3 2013 is the way the game is played. Actually, this happens in most cases than you know. In E3 2013, you can see the person playing the game is moving slowly and using cover-to-cover movement to show off the cover mechanics, which, as a viewer, looks very realistic. I mean, you can even see it here. how realistic does this look? In reality, the game did have changes and some minor graphics downgrade, but the downgrade seemed to have affected the facial detail, as in the E3 gameplay you can almost see the character's pores. But the world looks just as realistic as it did in E3 2013. Also, you can do things like adjusting the HUD, switching it to auto hide after you're out of combat. You can also turn off the cover and vault indicators to make it look more realistic. My point is, realism is not only in the looks of the game, but also the way you play the game. I see a lot of people just running around in the world, not taking in the beauty of New York. Take it slow. Trust me, it's great for the both of us. And lastly, and I guess this is more of a side note, but a lot of people who played the beta, and probably if you are playing the full game, a lot of people can't find the Chris Vector 45 ACP, which is the SMG used in all the official gameplay. They can find the tactical version, which is the sort of the one without a stock, but a lot of people have been just screaming all over Reddit and all the forums really about the Division, trying to find the full stock version, and I don't know if I'm the only one, but I kind of found it. It's right here. I don't know how I came by it. I think I played the main mission and they gave me the blueprint, because now I only have the blueprint of the weapon and I didn't find it in any vendor. So I don't know, maybe it's rare, or maybe I don't really know, but I just thought it'd be funny to show it off to all of you guys and see what do you think. Do you have it? Do you not have it? Just let me know in the comment section below. And that is all about Tom Clancy The Division. I know I still haven't talked about a Dark Zone, but I wanted to keep that for a future video as there is a lot to talk about. But does Tom Clancy The Division suck? Fuck no. I said it in the beta video and I'm more certain than ever to say it here. You can check the beta video to know more about what I think of Tom Clancy The Division, because, as I said, there isn't any difference in the beta and the full game, except the full game has a bigger map with a lot more content in it, but in terms of gameplay, it's exactly the same. And in the beta, like I said, I predicted that the story will mostly revolve around the base of operations, and I was wrong about having it no narrative and no context, as the truth is, it has little to no narrative and context. But the game is fun. Having the ability to roam around New York and stopping organized groups taking advantage of its apocalyptic state and restoring it to its greatness is, and I think I'm speaking for every gamer here, everyone's gaming wet dream. But then again, I might be wrong. Someone might have a dream of a destroyed Ukraine. Hey Putin. So let me know in the comment section below and in the poll card up on the right corner of the video. What do you think of Tom Clancy The Division? And that's it guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then give me the likes and give me the comments. And if you dislike my video, then I really don't give a fuck about the dislikes. I guess it's my apocalyptic state of mind that causes me to not give a fuck. You can't take advantage of it though. Trust me. People have tried before you. Subscribe to my channel if you aren't subscribed, and if you are, then share my videos to your friends and relatives, as sharing my videos will let my channel noticed. This was MZ101, and guys, see you later, next time.